Paella.
Paella.
God, we're never invited.
We're not supposed to be in here. That's my football. You hugged a koala, you fed kangaroos. And I said, yep, I did win the World Cup. My Euros trophy is like, I think it's like in my sock drawer or something. Yeah, if I could click my fingers and the World Cup be tomorrow, again, I 100% would.
What would you say is the biggest mistake that you've made?
Oof. The biggest mistake.
I'm so glad that they brought the sangria over. Right.
He said, did you want red or white? I assumed red.
100% red.
Yeah.
You look lovely. It's like mad seeing you out of kit, but obviously the first couple of times I met you, you weren't wearing your kit either.
Yeah.
So I'm used to seeing you looking like this.
Normal.
Yeah, normal in your home clothes.
I can remember my first games. I'd be wearing like a men's kit and it wasn't even my size either, and it was like the shirt was here, the arms were down here.
Do you remember the first kit you got like that was properly tailored for the women?
I remember the first one for England that was like away from the men's, because the away shirt was like a dark red, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good red.
Yeah. Or like covered in like English flowers like roses. And everybody was like, oh my god, this kit's amazing. I went to Paris because I did like a fashion...
What,
yeah, like
fashion Paris?
There was like a catwalk
Stuff
for like all the Nike teams that had the kit.
No.
So I went to Paris, did a catwalk in a football kit. Yeah, it was really cool. It was like 2 people from each team, so one in an away kit, one in a home kit. And we like walked around this circle to like, it was like the launch.
If you could build like your dream kit, what we're saying is,
I know collars are like iconic, but I would go no collar.
hate a collar.
That's my football lick.
Get rid. I am starving. I haven't seen a menu, but do you know what we're gonna get? Do you know what I want? 'Cause I've mentioned it a million times.
You want paella?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it like that. Paella.
Paella.
I'll have a paella.
Sí, 2. Pero yo creo que
Gracias.
ella quiere paella.
Paella?
Sí, right.
Paella.
Paella.
Octopus.
God, I don't know where
Do you like
to start.
octopus?
I like everything except
Mini
coriander.
Wagyu.
Bloody hate coriander.
He's just gonna freestyle it for us.
Let's take it all back to where it all began. Up north.
Up north.
Up north. And when you were growing up, you got into football through playing with your brother and his mates.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Like, did you know that you were always better than them? Did they know it, or did they kind of not want to accept it because you're a girl?
To be fair, I don't think I wasn't aware of my ability at all. And I think I was very lucky, like my brother let me play with him and he just never let me win. And I didn't really think, oh, I want to be a footballer when I'm older. I just wanted to play with my brother. My brother treated me as if I was one of his friends, because I was just like a little terrier as well anyway. It was like no one went easy on me and I didn't go easy on them. But I was just there to like run around like everybody else.
Yeah.
I was so shy when I was younger.
Yeah.
And being in that team environment, at the beginning it was being with my brother and his friends, it was easy for me to get along with people. Then joining the team, it was like, oh, I've got 15 friends, like who we all had something in common with.
Forced friendship.
Yeah, you must be my friend. That whole thing of playing on my own, I didn't like it. And just all eyes were on you. Say tennis, my mum took me to tennis, it's 1v1. And I was just like, I don't like this, like all eyes on me.
Yeah. Tables have turned now though, because you do get all eyes on you a lot of the time as a player.
Well, it's funny because then when I started playing football as I got older, yeah, like the position I play is not necessarily it's not a striker, it's not scoring all the goals, but the way I play, I just enforce myself on the entire game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of when, well, that's what you could have done in tennis.
Your mum's like, he could have been a great tennis player.
My mum still says that now. She's like, you shouldn't pick tennis.
Surely not. Seeing how well you've done now.
No, she didn't like football. Like, nor my dad. Like, they came to my games, obviously, but not really to watch. They were there to support me, but not.
Yeah.
They didn't have a
Lucy
clue.
Bronze fans rather than football fans.
Oh, still to this day, my mum says that.
Really?
Yeah. They understand the game more. Like, my mum learned all the rules and offside and everything, like tactics. She claims to be like, have a reasonable knowledge, but when I was younger, didn't know anything.
You are obviously a really, really versatile player. I mean, you've pretty much tried every single outfield position that there is. What made being a fullback like resonate with you? Why did you choose that?
It chose me.
Right. You're giving me the ick.
Yeah, I'll give myself the ick. I think when I was younger, you just kind of play anywhere. And then when I went to a girls' team, I've been this size since I was like 12, and I was quite quick and I was fit. So it was like Lucy Hugo as the striker, Lucy Staniforth, who's played for England, she was in midfield, so it was like, give Lucy Staniforth the ball, she'll find Lucy Bronze, and I used to run in behind and score. But I'd always be coming back and back and back, so then I was like, I want to play midfield, like I want to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So then I started playing midfield, and then we signed Jordan Nobbs, who,
High roll.
Jordan Nobbs, who kicked me out of my position, but
Outrageous.
But I still do to this day, I love defending. So it was like, even if they played me as a striker, I was still coming back. So it was like, why don't you just play at the back and then choose when you can join in, as opposed to like, you're supposed to be the striker or the midfielder, and what you're defending like a centre-back for. I played centre-back and full-back, but I am full-back, I am
Fullback through.
I have the licence to do what I want. That's me.
it. I think like as a fullback you can get up and down the pitch way more. Obviously, stranger to a goal or a few.
Well, there was that meme, was it off like Lord of the Rings or something, and he's like, I'm off on an adventure, and it was like every fullback who's playing or something, people kept sending me it and was like, this is Lucy.
You got to the age at about 11, and you've mentioned her already, but around the time where you were not able to play with boys anymore, you met Lucy Staniforth. People say it's a massive coincidence that you guys like lived near each other, went to the same school, then ended up playing in the same team, but could you argue that actually it's not a coincidence in that you guys
made each other better, 100%.
Forced each other to be better and better, to compete with each other, and that's why you ended up in the positions you did?
I mean, Lucy's super talented as well. Lucy was like the best player in our team when we were younger. We used to train together all the time, and because we lived in quite a small town, like it was just me and her doing extra sessions. She was technically better than me, but I was fitter than her. But everything was super competitive. Like we'd go and try and hit the crossbar. We'd spend all night seeing who hit it the most. Once we went to the gym together, we did a running session, and I put my speed up, so it's like, I don't know, say 13.5.
Yeah.
Then she looks over and she's like this, 13.7, and I'm like 13.9, and then she was like, and like we just do stuff like that all the time. We just always wanted to beat each other.
I'm more shocked by the fact that you were running at 13.9.
I mean,
and the fact that you were outrunning each other.
I think that at the end we were literally hanging on, but it was like neither of us were going to stop.
Do you ever get that like competitiveness with her where it became like unfriendly, or was it always like?
I remember when she got scouted for England, like I was so happy for her. My mum, I don't know if I've told Lucy this story, my mum drove us home and Lucy was so happy, and I was happy for her, but I hadn't been scouted. And we dropped Lucy off, and then it was 2 minutes to my house, and I just started crying because I was upset that I didn't get picked. But my mum was like, you spent the whole 2-hour car journey not like saying anything because you wanted to be happy for her, because she was happy. As soon as we dropped her off, she was like, you start crying. And I was only like 12, 13 years old.
Did your mum know the whole way that you were
I think my mum was like, I
devastated?
knew you were like a bit down and you wanted to like not be sad for Lucy, but I think we've been like that throughout our career, and I've been lucky to grow up with like 4 of us who grew up together. We've always been happy for each other.
You mentioned there like, Lucy obviously got like scouted and you didn't, and it's kind of a theme throughout your early career in that England didn't think that you were good enough. But when they did eventually give you a call up to make your first appearance for England professionally, do you remember where you were, and also who did you tell first?
Where was I? I think it was like an email.
An email? Nah, surely not.
I'm sure it was an email back then. Yeah.
What the hell? What if it had gone into the junk mail?
Yeah, I guess then you would have got a call like, check your junk mail.
Hello.
But I think I would definitely rang my mum first. If I ring my dad, he'll be like, your mum's not here.
I did hear you saying something though, when you got awarded your MBE, you actually called your granny first.
Yeah.
When did you find out about the MBE as well? And how did you call her and tell her?
That was an email as well.
Sorry, what's wrong with the old-fashioned pick up the call these days?
I mean, to be fair, with the like honours list, I think there's like quite a lot of people, but I don't know, it was an email and I was just about to get on the plane to fly to Champions League, so I didn't have much time. I landed and I FaceTimed my grandma just because I thought this is the one thing that she's really going to understand more than anything.
Yeah.
Like getting picked for the World Cup, they're all excited, or getting picked for England, they do, but yeah, it was the thing I thought, my nan's going to love this, that being awarded an MBE.
What was her reaction?
Oh my god, like I was like, you can't tell anyone though, it's like, it's a secret.
And she was probably like down bingo, letting her with the pounds.
I know, I thought, oh, it doesn't matter, is it?
Oh.
This is bluefish. This is lemon fish with almond, smoked red peppers, lime.
Looks unreal. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to like suck the brain.
Oh, you didn't say brain like that
Yeah,
before
look, this
though.
bit, look how tasty that is.
Is that its brain?
It's like all the juices from like...
That's all yours. You suck it out.
And
You gotta lead the way.
Apparently the edges, like, that's the tastiest part as well.
You're a veteran.
Am I?
A veteran round here now, so you've got to do it.
There you go.
Just veteran, full stop.
Yeah, not even around here. Not even with the food.
I'm gonna let you lead the way here.
You're waiting for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's right up my street. That.
Oh,
That is unbelievable. I think I'm more excited about that.
that looks good, doesn't
That
it?
looks so good.
Well, I'm going to cut the head
Cut it
off.
out. Oh yeah, and then you're gonna suck it out.
Yeah, and then
Oh, I can't.
look.
That's not acceptable.
No?
I can't. Well, now you've done it, I feel like I've got to.
Hold it together a little bit. No, don't pull that face. Tasty though. Yeah?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially when it's a whole head, you'd be a lot easier like that.
You can get it up and do that thing where you like speak to it.
I'm that person.
God, we're never invited.
We're not supposed to be in here.
Okay, back onto a more serious topic. Obviously, since the first England call-up, you've won so much since then. We're talking multiple Champions Leagues, personal awards, the Euros, but you'd expect with all those wins that you'd have like a room dedicated to all of your memorabilia. That's not the case, is it?
No. They were, when I lived in England, they were in my garage.
Garage.
I know. I did take a few out because people used to say, well, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
I took a few ones that were aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, which
And they
consisted of?
The FIFA Player of the Year.
Yeah.
It's just a nice, about this big, like silver one. And then I had like the Team of the Year. It's the same trophy but a little bit smaller. So I thought, oh, they look nice as a little set. So they were in the office.
It's a little set.
Little set. Yeah.
I've not gone from like Zara home.
Nice little doorstop. At the minute, they're all in my sister's house actually. She's got them in a cupboard, and I think she was like, oh, I might change the cupboard and have it like set up, but I'm not fussed. I think I've got one in my apartment in Barcelona,
Which is?
Team of the Year one, because I won it last year, so.
Okay. Because you couldn't be bothered to take it back to
Couldn't
England,
got
to the garage.
England, so it has to stay in the house. And then this is bad, my Euros trophy is like the medal. It's like, I think it's like in my sock drawer or something.
That's just shabby that though, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know why.
What is it? You just don't like, they don't mean, I mean, you got the memories, so the
Yeah,
trophy
like
doesn't mean anything, or?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I've done it, like the things that are in my apartment, I've got a picture with me and my grandma and my auntie from the Euros.
Yeah.
But like we stood on a bridge, like it was on my day off. Nothing to do with football. Like pictures of my niece and nephew. My auntie sent me like, it's like a little poem thing about being a dog owner.
Got the dog owner up.
Yeah.
But none
Not
of the
true.
like Champions League trophy
No.
replicas or anything like that.
None of the shirts.
You're trying to pluck something out and
that
change yourself.
None of the trophies are anywhere, none of the shirts.
Well, one of the aesthetics ones that did come out of the box, the FIFA Women's Player of the Year award. That was huge. I mean, you became like the first English player to ever win that. What was it like to like think about the fact that you are known as one of the best in the world? Like, does that ever sink in?
No, I think at the time it didn't. I think only now, I think, what are we, like 3 or 4 years later, I think, wow, as if I did that as a defender. That's crazy. Like, because I look now at players who win it, like Alexis Putellas or Rapinoe, and you have to score so many goals, and like, it's so difficult. I think I don't even know how I managed to win it in the end.
So much for not having all the eyes on you as a defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is definitely something you don't lack in, winning mentality. And although you can shove all of the trophies to the back of the wardrobe, keep them in the garage, one thing you wouldn't have been able to put to the back of the drawer would have been a star above the England crest on your shirt.
Yeah.
How's that changed your mentality?
Yeah, I mean, finally making it to the final, like, I don't know how many players have been to that many semi-finals and not got to the final, and it's still the one thing now that it's the only thing that I don't have, and a little bit more painful having to come back to Barcelona and have all these other players, congratulations, and then they were like, sorry Lucy and Kira, well done, and I was like, whoa, just reminded of it every single day for a good 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
A tough one to say, like we're laughing about it now, but like that must have been so hard coming back here and facing all those like other players and then getting back into it and having to go again.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing is like I would have wanted to win that more than anything, but they're an amazing team and amazing players, like they're my teammates as well, so I'm super happy for them and what they achieved. Just disappointing it wasn't me.
You've heard people say it a million times before, but like you guys were amazing, and not only did you do so well, but like just as far as you came has opened up the eyes of so many people in the women's game in England, and like, you've got to take that away from it, surely.
Yeah, I think coming off the back of the Euros that we won, to then a World Cup and it was like, oh, well, we didn't win. The first emotion was just like, it wasn't good enough kind of thing. And yeah, I guess as it sunk in more and more, when we came back to England, we didn't go through the normal airport, and I think apparently there was hundreds of fans waiting for us, which we didn't even know about. And when we thought about it, we were like, that's crazy, like every person I spoke to, even come to this restaurant today, they're like, oh, you did so good. And yeah, reflecting on it, like we did do well, like we made a World Cup final. That is still an achievement regardless of whether I've got the star or not. It's something like I'd never had before, something we never did before. And yeah, changed, again, did another thing to change football, women's football in England.
Being away for so long in a camp like that, I mean, you're spending so much time day in, day out with those teammates. What would you say, like, off the pitch, is the most memorable thing that happened? Funniest thing, or just something that you will always take away from that camp?
The one thing that the Spanish girls, because they were in New Zealand and the weather was pretty bad, we were in Australia, and we stayed in a hotel that had a kangaroo outside my bedroom. Or I went and saw a whale like doing a flip in front of me, like in the sea.
Wait, sorry, kangaroo outside your bedroom?
Like literally walk past it every day. The Spanish girls were like, you got to see whales in the sea, you got to see, you got hugged a koala, you fed kangaroos. And I said, yeah, but I didn't win the World Cup. They were like, yeah, but you did so many cool things, we did nothing. And I was like, I would rather switch places with you, but I guess, yeah, we made a lot of memories in a different way.
Yeah, you saw a kangaroo, you won the World Cup.
I know, I was like, you won.
Go back there and stay in my hotel.
But they're like, no, you did so many things, like you obviously had such a good time. And I was like, to be fair, we did do a lot. I think there was one moment where two of our players, Niamh Charles and Esme Morgan, there was dolphins in the sea near our hotel, and people were like, oh look, there's the dolphins. And they were like, should we swim there? So they went out swimming. So it was me, Jordan, Alessia, Tierney, we sat watching them. And this guy came up to us and was like, you do know that like, normally if there's dolphins, there might be a shark quite near? And we were like, we can't tell them now.
What should we do, swim out and get them?
Yeah, like, I can't even, I was like waving at them and they're like, and they're just like, Tierney was like, well, we can't ring them, I'm not going to call them, I can't shout at them, just, it is what it is. Good luck, girls.
When they got back in, did you tell them?
Yeah, and they were like, to be fair, we kind of knew. I think Niamh, she was swimming and kept looking back and then swim, whereas Esme was just full throttle.
They can now say that they swam with dolphins and got away without a shark bite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Spanish team to have that one.
Yeah, you didn't do that, did you?
There are obviously some great moments that happen within the camp and throughout the World Cup. So many memorable moments on the pitch that were great. One that wasn't maybe so positive, well, it wasn't so positive, it was awful at the time, was Lauren James's red card. And I know you guys are really, really good friends, but what was your reaction to that? And do things like that affect your dressing room relationships?
I mean, I have a really good relationship with LJ. I think everyone knew that before the World Cup. And obviously what happened was, like, lucky for us, we still managed to grind out a win in the end, went to penalties. But I can remember I ran, as soon as we won the penalties, I ran straight in the change room to go and see her. I think I was the first one to see her. And yeah, like, to see how devastated she was, I was like, she knows she's made a mistake. And hopefully for her, being so young, I mean, it's cliche, but hopefully it's something that she learns from.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, she's so talented. Like, people are going to try and like get to her and stuff. She needs to stay calm and cool. And yeah, we managed it quite well. And you know, we had players missing through injury, then to have a player missing for a red card as well. It was just like the team was able to cope with all these adversities and just keep going as a collective.
Had she like not made it to the final and missed out because of that red, do you think that you would be looking at it slightly differently?
I don't think I would. I think because, like I said, because I saw her, even in the moment she come off, my head was like, right, well, we've got 10 players and we need to win this game. Like, we'll crack on. We changed formation again. I wasn't thinking like, oh, I wonder where LJ is. Whether we'd lost the game, we all have a responsibility. Maybe that's my mature nature.
Veteran.
Yeah, maybe ask me in my first World Cup, I might have had a different response, but people make mistakes. That's just life, that's football. I've made plenty of mistakes in life and people have forgiven me and I've moved on and learned from it, so why would I not do that for somebody else?
No, you've said about your like experience there as well.
Yeah.
It is a nice way of putting it, but in all seriousness, your experience is something that is so valued. And you just like laugh. Like,
Yeah.
I always put smoke up your ass while you're eating this gorgeous.
Well, I mean, it's a gorgeous
Really?
medium steak.
It's definitely more medium rare, by the way.
Yeah.
If this is medium, I would have hated to see around.
Yeah.
Would have been walking across our table. But no, being that leader figure, what does that responsibility mean to you?
Like, people say, oh, you're a more experienced player. I think people just think, oh, it's just a word. But I'm like, no, I've had experiences, like good and bad. That's what made me experienced. You don't always have to be the perfect, always do everything right, always answer the right questions, always say the right things, do the right things. You just have the intention of wanting to be a good teammate. And if you make a mistake, you just move forward, move on, and realise you made a mistake and try not to do it again.
Yeah, it's an
simple.
experienced answer to that.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. I think too many people think being a leader or captain or experienced player means you do everything right, but I don't think it does. I could tell people till I'm blue in the face I didn't have enough ice baths.
No, that's not an issue now.
That's not an issue.
Sat on your balcony.
That's never been an issue. But I could say that, but it doesn't mean they're going to do it. They just have a little bit more knowledge about it. And they have to make their own mistakes.
Yeah. Saying you've made a few mistakes, what would you say is the biggest mistake that you've made?
Oof, the biggest mistake. Not learning a language when I was younger. Never mind football.
So true. Say that you like start from scratch again and only know English, you're choosing French or Spanish to learn.
Spanish. Yeah. Being able to speak Spanish from a young age, that would have been.
You'd think growing up with a father that's Portuguese, you would have sort of learnt the languages more, and he would have surely forced you to do it a little bit more.
Oh, my dad's not a very forceful kind of person.
Right.
Yeah, he's very, very chill, laid back. I think that's probably why. We did get raised like bilingual. Me and my brother more so. But we were living in England, and we would always reply in English, and it just got to a point where I think my dad just then started to speak English again. I wish I was fluent in Portuguese.
Yeah. So biggest regret?
My dad's biggest mistake.
It's not you.
It's not my fault. No.
Going back to that World Cup, just bring it up again just to ruin
Let's
dinner.
just keep rubbing the salt in.
Salt though, how good is the salt on things?
Yeah,
unbelievable. As humans, we do tend to like let the bad overshadow the good. And obviously there was an incident at the end of the World Cup with Jenny Hermoso where there was that unwanted kiss situation. What did you make of all of that at the time?
In real time, I don't think I've seen it happen. I think we only seen it as a team, like on the bus the next morning, like in the media and stuff. For myself and Kira, it's a little bit different because we're so close to those girls. I mean, I don't know Jenny personally, but half my Barca team are friends with her, teammates with her, were part of that team. It was crazy, like not only the incident, but what happened after. Like Jenny's life completely changed, and it wasn't because she won the World Cup.
Yeah.
It was because of an incident that she didn't want to happen.
Yeah.
She just won the World Cup. Like
that's what I mean by overshadowing some like
Completely.
monumentous occasion. When she looks back, that's going to be something that she includes with that amazing memory.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I can imagine it's probably something she looks back on and it's just flooded with bad memories, not just the incident, but afterwards and all the reports, the media being followed around and things like that. Just must have been such an intense part of her life where winning the World Cup's the best thing you can do in football. Like, literally, apart from individual awards, you might say, but for me and for, I'd say, most people, winning the World Cup, she went and did that, like, and it was just, yeah, it's a memory that's going to be scarred forever.
Yeah. You did use your like platform to speak out a little bit about that. Do you think that was like important to show people that you were supporting like what was going on throughout, even though you were going through obviously a devastating time of not having won it?
At the end of the day, there's things that are more important than football, and for me that was one of them. I also think that like there's always strength in numbers, and there's a change that needs to be made. I think there's been things in the past where maybe I could have understood more what was happening and spoke up more, and again that's something that I've learned throughout my career, is how to use my voice, trying to keep up and understand different situations and the power of your voice. And like I say, I think for me something that's quite close to me is like how women are treated within sport.
Yeah.
Something my mum always said to me, like, more people are listening to you than what you realise.
Yeah.
So yeah, like there was a lot of players who spoke out, and I think it just amps up the volume of the message that you're trying to send, the more people who stand up and speak out.
I've really brought down the tone of this meal, and before we order what I've seen like a chocolate souffle floating about, the World Cup is 4 years away. We've got a while in between now and the next one where you've got your next chance. What have you got to look forward to between now and then? Or is that the only thing that's on your mind?
Wow. Yeah, if I could click my fingers and the World Cup be tomorrow, again, I 100% would. The memories that I have at World Cups are amazing, regardless of the fact that I've not actually won one. But yeah, I mean, there's still so much to do. I still absolutely love playing for England. Got to try and catch up Farrell Williams, Jill Scott's caps. They're miles away. I just want to keep playing football as long as I keep enjoying it, which I am. Obviously there's another Euros before the World Cup. Being back-to-back champions, that could be a big thing to achieve. Plenty of Champions League games and cup finals. There's always something on the horizon.
And they never get old for you, do they? Like no matter how many you've won previously, they're still just as important to you every time.
Oh yeah, 100%. Being competitive when I grew up was always the biggest joy. Like playing sport and being competitive. And being competitive means trying to win. And it might be a trophy at the end of the game. It might not. It might be 3 points. It could be anything. But that feeling of competing is, it's like adrenaline to me.
Different gravy, different ball game.
Can't say gravy here.
Yeah.
Not in Spain.
Roast dinner equivalent.
Different paella.
I still need to say it like different paella. I just sound like such a knob.
Different paella.
There's so many things you can remember for, but if there's just one thing that people think back to Lucy Bronze and think of one thing, what would you want it to be?
One thing. Wow, you
One
really
thing.
like never giving up. That's a bit cliche, but yeah, I mean the injuries that I went through and not really being like in there with England to then having done nearly everything.
Yeah.
Because I just had the will to do it.
Yeah. So if it's like Lucy Bronze underneath, never giving up, you'd be happy.
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to finish this.
Finish this.
And then I want a chocolate pudding.
Vamos.
We're not eating enough.
No, vamos.